Here we go, guys. This is the weekly review coming up for. Well, we're going to review. We always review the week prior, the previous, sorry, and the week ahead. So, as you guys know, I always cover the same stuff because I never know who's watching this for the first time and who's watching it every week. I always use this trading economics for data. When I do the weekly reviews, I normally jump across here just because it's easier on the eye for everyone. All right, so we'll do that. Trading economics is better, and you do get far more news. What I do is each week the same thing. Just you create the same habit. That's why if you keep watching the videos, you'll be like, this guy, repeats what he does every week. That's all on purpose. I cover one pair at a time, except from AUD, Chinese yuan renminbi, and NZD. Excuse me. Why? Because they're all closely correlated, those three pairs. If you want to write this down, if China's news is good and strong, i.e. the economic news is good and strong, strong numbers, strong data, it brings strength to the AUD, and it will bring some form of strength to the NZD as well, because they're all very closely correlated. They do a lot of business with each other, basically. And that's so they're very closely correlated. If China does well, the AUD is strong. If China is not doing well and it's going to go in weak, then it provides weakness to the AUD as well. And the other pair which correlates negative, that's positive correlation because they correlate in the same way. Negative correlation when they move in polar opposites is USD and AUD. So if USD is strong, AUD will be weak. And if USD is weak, AUD will be strong. All right, so it's important to note that as well. This week, what do we have? We had trade balance. I mean, that's looking much better for NZD. It's probably where that weird strength came from. But I mean, the economy's not strong overall. China, low manufacturing PMI. So, especially for you guys like yourself, Reese, all countries have both PMIs. There's a manufacturing PMI and there's a services PMI. I've created a sheet. I've actually put the link in the group after this call, Reese. Please remind me to. I'll jump on and send you. I've created this sheet, mate, and you just go on the link and you can print it off, and it actually covers all that, so you can read it in your own time. And I've made it dead simple, and I've covered them. And all countries, right? All kind of areas that we look at: AUD, NZD, pound, blah blah blah. They all have a manufacturing PMI and a services PMI. There's depending on the country, depends on which one that we really care about the most, right? So, for example, British pound, Britain is not a manufacturing country. So if that's below 50, anything below 50, 49.9 downwards is bearish. Anything from 50.0 upwards is bullish, right? So even if look at this. This is a great example. You see here, right? That was previously 51.2 and it's now jumped down to 50.8. People will see that don't understand the context of fundamentals, and they'll be like, "Oh, it's bearish. Look, AUD is going bearish." It's not bearish at all. That is still bullish. Anything above 50 means bullish. All it means is things have slowed down since last time, but it's still bullish, and that's where a lot of people will get that wrong. And likewise, if here it's like 44, and then you look here and it's 48.5, people will think, oh, that's bearish. Look, it's increased. That's going up. It's not going up. It's still bearish. It's just that things are getting slightly better, but it does not become bullish until it passes that 50 threshold, and it does not become bearish until it breaks below the 50 threshold. So again, these are really good points to note because it's very, very useful. So AUD. AUD is, we've got mixed data, so one's strong and one's weak, right? So that's mixed data. But overall, the AUD is doing quite well. We may see a kind of turnaround. It is starting to struggle. So you may start to see like AUD now falling, and other pairs taking over it. Next week is going to be a big week for the AUD, as we can see here. Building approvals. Another good point to note is like month on month, quarter on quarter, and year on year are all good things to note. If it's month on month and it's down, it's like, okay, it's only down on the month. Quarter on quarter has a larger effect, and year on year obviously is the main effect, right? If we look at the USD news from last week, I'll cover it in a bit. but you'll see that one of them it's like, oh, that's came in weaker, but then you look at it and it's like, oh, that's month on month, so it's only weaker this month, and you look at the year on year is way up, it's very positive, so it's like, okay, so it's strong, it's not weak. Things like building consensus and building approvals, they're quite important, because if things are getting approved, it means things are being built. If things are being built, it means money is being spent. If money is being spent, it means there's money going into the economy. If money's going into the economy, everything's doing well and the currency is strong, right? And that's the kind of the process that you go through. AUD CPI quarter on quarter, we definitely want to see that. It's on Wednesday. AUD CPI year on year, want to see that. Trimmed means CPI, we want to see that. If you don't know what any of them are, I mean, it's impossible to remember them all, right, unless you're a proper geek. So just open up these folders and it will tell you exactly what they are, all right? Retail sales month on month, that's also a good indicator, but remember, it's month on month, so it's going to show you, as sales going up or going down. We want sales to be going up, means people are spending more money, the economy's good, the currency strengthens. Private sector credit, that's also a good one as well. Manufacturing PMI for China, we want to see that. We want to see it above 50 if we can. If it's obviously, even if it's 49.8, it's still not bullish, so that's negative. And then non-manufacturing PMI, if that stays above 50, that's good, but it's mixed data, right? You're getting one negative, one positive, so it's not strong. Good trade balance. Import prices quarter. This one here, I don't know why it's yellow. Casein, I don't know how you pronounce it. Casein. Manufacturing PMI. That's quite an important one. So we want to see that up. Obviously, if it, well, we don't really care. If it is up, it's good for the AUD. If it's down, then it provides weakness to the AUD. AUD commodity prices year on year. So we want to keep an eye on that. And PPI. So there is a shit ton of news next week for AUD. What I forgot to do is grab a notebook, guys. I do this every week as I'm going through this, and I write in this order: strong, then weak, then neutral. Okay. The reason why I don't do strong, neutral, and weak, which you would think was obvious, right? Because you'd think neutral would be in the center, weak would be at the end. It's because once we get to the end of these, right, we're gonna pair a strong to a weak. So you don't want to be trying to pair it when you've got bloody writing down here and trying to pair one from here to here. You know what I mean? So that's why I do it strong, weak, neutral. Then you just, the neutral's already out the game and you're just pairing up. You can see instantly you're pairing up the strong against the weak. Okay. For me, AUD is still strong. Hasn't really shown any signs of weakness. It showed signs of slowing down, yes, but it hasn't showed signs of weakness. So this week is going to be a very important week for the AUD. Weak is NZD. That is weak. That currency is dog shit. And obviously China, we don't write down China because we don't trade it. Excuse me. So now I take them all off, and now I go through the rest one by one. Canadian dollar. Let's have a look. Right, so last week, what week was that on? Yep. So the Canadians cut rates again. You can see it. Look, it was previously 4.6. The inflation was 4.75. They've cut rates, which provides weakness to the Canadian dollar, and that was negative. It's only month on month. Pardon me, but it is still negative. Next week, GDP month on month, manufacturing PMI. So we do have some numbers that we want to see. Has it been getting worse or better? Let's have a quick look. Yeah, it's been getting worse. Doesn't even have a forecast here. So I'm going to be putting CAD under weak. Excuse me, guys. Now we go back. It's actually dead easy. That once you get rolling, it's quite easy. CHF, we check it. It's always there's never any news for that, right? But we just check it anyway. This week there's been absolutely nothing. Let's see next week. We've got CPI month on month, manufacturing. I mean, they don't manufacture fuck all. Maybe they make cheese or something. I don't know, but that's about it. Neutral. CHF for me is neutral. It's neither strong nor weak. It's so that we always say it's the safest Swiss, right? Because they never get into wars with anyone. They're always around about 2% inflation. They're never, they don't go much above that. So it's neutral for now. At times they can be strong, but for now they are neutral. Euro. And look at that. Look at the amount of news. This is why we don't do things like euro, pound, and USD together, because you're going to have like three currency pairs like this, and it's a total nightmare. So we don't want to see next week yet. We want to see last week. Consumer confidence is still negative. Consumer climate. Oh, a point to note. When looking at the euro, we only really care about France and Germany. We don't care about Spain and Italy. If it was something big, like a big year-on-year GDP year-on-year or something like that, we would take it into consideration. Yeah, but we don't really care about it in everyday stuff, right? Just like Spanish unemployment, we don't care, But like French and German unemployment, we do care about that. Okay. GFQ consumer climate. French flash manufacturing PMI is down. So France isn't a manufacturing country; it's a services country. So it's kind of predicted that it will be bearish. But we can at times, as we'll see in the pound in a moment, both of them can be bullish, and that's of course fantastic. But so we've got mixed data here for France, right? We've got one negative, one bullish, and we can actually see growth, right? Not here. But the one that we actually want to see growth in is services PMI, because France is a services country. And then we can see, look, 49.6. It's now gave a bit of bullish momentum there, which is fantastic. 50.7. That's a good move. Germany manufacturing PMI. Now it's the other way around for Germany. Germany is a manufacturing country. They make tons of cars, Land Rover, Jag, Aston Martin, blah blah blah, whatever. Audi, Mercedes. So we want to see that high. We want to see that above 50, and it's decreasing all the time. So that's not good for the Eurozone. Germany flash services PMI is 52, which is very positive, which Germany does provide services, of course. Every country does provide both of each, but one will be the dominating one for them. But services PMI is up. So this is just mixed data. It's not weak. It's not bullish. You're getting 1 week, one strong, 1 week, one strong. So that's called mixed data, and it's very choppy, if you like. Flash manufacturing PMI 45.6. So that's negative again. Flash services PMI 51. That's positive. It's like fucking hell. Make up your mind. M3 money supply year on year is positive. Private loans is the same, no change year on year. Belgian NBB business climate down. Yeah, and that's it. So it's the euro is pretty negative for me. It's pretty what's the word I'm looking for? Neutral, sorry. Let's have a look. Flash GDP, we want to see that. Prelim CPI, we want to see that. Spanish CPI year on year, we can look at that quarter on quarter. We can take this into account, but we don't have to care about it. But it's still nice to see, right? It'll give you that extra, as is it bolstering it? Is it hindering it? Germany, we want to see that. All this, we want to see import prices, prelim, core CPI. You want to see that? Yep. So there's loads of good news that we want to see. Well, hopefully it's good. There's loads of major news, I should say, that we want to see next week for the euro. All right. So far, for me, the euro is just neutral. It's not weak, but it's not strong. Okay. Pound. Pound's been doing bloody brilliant. Where are we? I want to see last week first. We're not a manufacturing country. Manufacturing PMI is flying. Flash services PMI, we are a services country. We provide banking services and all this kind of stuff. You can buy a home. If you're a Russian gangster, you can buy a home, launder your money through it, and we turn a blind eye to it. So we provide these massive services to Arabs and Russians and blah, blah, blah. 52.1, 52.4. These are great numbers. So both of them, that's, again, massively strong. The 30-year bond auction is up. That's fantastic. Industrial order expectations, that's down. We don't really care about that because we're not an industrial. We don't really build ship. I know Scotland is shipbuilding, but it's not a manufacturing country, right? M4 money supply month on month. Mortgage approvals, that's quite important. I don't know why it's in yellow, but it's quite. I guess it's not important for the market to move, but it's important from an economic viewpoint because if more mortgages are being approved, again, it means the banks are lending more money. If banks are lending more money, it means people are spending that money to buy more houses. That's going back into the economy, and then it means the economy is strong, and therefore the currency is strong, right? CBI realized sales, short price index, no. Nationwide HPI. That's kind of the same as mortgage approval, so we can look at that as well. That's nice, month on month though. Final manufacturing PMI. We want to look at that. Bank of England monetary policy report. We want to check that out. Money just NBC official bank rate. So the UK rate is their inflation rate is at 5.25. They are forecasting that they're going to cut rates. I don't know if they will. Well, here's the thing. They don't cut rates if things are going well. They only start to cut rates if things are coming down. So if we looked at like the PMI from the last week and it's like, holy shit, that took a massive drop. Oh my God, services PMI took a massive drop. Then we could potentially see a rate cut. Unemployment is high, employment is low, average earnings have dropped. Excuse me, all these different little factors for the jigsaw piece that you put together. Then at that point, if we were seeing that data now, we'd be saying to ourselves, holy shit, there's actually a good chance they could cut rates next week, But going by that data, you would now be looking at it saying, nah, they're not going to cut rates, If they do, holy shit, because anything can happen, right? But it's highly unlikely that they're going to cut rates because everything's good and they won't cut them until things start getting bad. If they cut them now too early when everything's going good, inflation will just skyrocket and then it'll be like, holy shit, what do we do now? How the hell do we get it back down? You know what I mean? Bank of England Governor Bailey speaks. So yeah, next week is a good week for news. And for me on the charts, economy strength, GBP is strong. So I'm not really keen on like GBP AUD buys, because or sells, because both of them are strong. Doesn't mean you can't do it, because you can always find a trade, but I just prefer to wait, lads, and get the cherry trades, cherry picking trades. Bank of Japan core CPI 2.1, flash manufacturing PMI 49.2, so it's dropped, and that is bad because Japan is a manufacturing country. SPPI year on year is up slightly. Tokyo core CPI is up by 0.1. So it's all right. It's shown a little bit of strength, right? It's trying to come back. It's not enough to pull it out of the fucking trenches right now. Unemployment rate. So that'll be good to see next week. Retail sales year on year. BOG report, yeah. So there's a lot of final manufacturing PMI. Yeah, this is all big news. It's next week PMI. NFP week, I think it might be, right? And that's why we're getting all this big news. So for me, lads, Japanese yen it's still weak. Even although, like, if you look at GG right now, it's melting, right? And retail traders that don't understand the whole context of like the economies and blah blah blah, they'll look at that and be like, "Oh, Japanese yen's so strong." It isn't. It's just the bank is intervening because the Japanese yen is so fucked. That's all it is. So they're having to intervene, sell bonds, and do this. And I think they injected like 60 billion. Can't remember into what, but that then obviously made the markets move and blah blah blah. If you look at the data on all the big institutions, they're all fucking buying against the yen. They're all selling the yen. So if it's GJ, they're buying GG. UJ, they're buying UJ. They're all still in buys. So you'll see it. We'll cover that when I cover the pairs, right? Because we've potentially got a fuck ton of pairs next week, guys, to get in about, which is great. That's just covered Japanese yen. And last but not least, USD. We've got a right. What the hell? Look at all this. Manufacturing index minus 17. Existing home sales has dropped. Trade balance has dropped. So look, some people will think because that's green, they won't even look at the numbers. They'll just look and see that that's green, and they'll be like, "Oh, that's good. At least that's came in good." And you're like, "It hasn't came in good." It's the reason why it's green is because look, they forecasted it to be minus 98, sorry, and it came in at minus 96. So it's came in better than they forecasted, and that's why it's showing up green. But if you look at previously, it was a minus 99. Oh, sorry, that's getting better. What the fuck am I talking about? Sorry. It is better. That's why it was at minus 99. Now it's at minus 96. So that is better. Sorry, my bad. So that is good news. Yeah, I messed that up there. My mistake. Prelim wholesales inventories month on month, 0.6, 0.2. Flash manufacturing PMI is dropped and it's now below 50, so it's now bearish. The US isn't a massively manufacturing country. It's one of the ones that falls under services. But obviously they do manufacture stuff, right? So we need to take that into account. But flash services PMI that's actually increasing. But you can see here, manufacturing PMI has dropped from 51.6 down to 49.5, and that is quite a big drop. That's went bearish. So it's mixed data, right? It's not overall, it's not good and bad. It's just it's mixed data. New home sales have dropped. Crude oil inventories, okay, that's fine. Let's have a quick look. Advanced GDP quarter on quarter is up, so that's great. Unemployment claims are down, that's great. Advanced GDP price index is 2.3. Oh, okay. So that's actually, is that not good? Advanced GDP index. Let me just check that. I can't remember if that should be lower, but it tells you here. Greater than forecast is good for the currency. Okay, so that's because it's less, it's not good. Hey, where am I? There we go. Okay. Core durable goods orders month on month is up. Durable goods orders month on month is down. Natural gas storage. Core PCE is up. Personal income month on month has dropped. Personal spending month on month has dropped. So it's mixed data, guys. The USD is still the strongest economy now, right? But because we're now starting to get, it was all strong, it was all positive, the previous weeks and months. We're now starting to get this kind of chop, right, where it's like good, bad, good, bad, good, bad. You can't cut rates on that yet. And it's certainly not changing to weak. It's still strong, but it's showing you that it's kind of at the rooftop now. It's struggling, It's like if you're kind of almost at the summit of Everest and you're like, oh, I'm hanging at my arse, and you're still trying to plod along and get to the peak. That's kind of what USD is doing right now in terms of the economic cycle, right? And it will just be it's almost at the location where it about turns and it starts coming down, and pairs like Japanese yen will start coming up and blah, 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 right? So next week, we've got loads of news again. HPI month on month, consumer jolts. Yeah, so next week is, sorry guys, my nose is itchy as hell. We've got jolts. That's very important. Job openings. Also a massive move. We've got the initial ADP non-farm. So next week is non-farm payroll week. You know what that's like, right? It's the whole week can be wild, right? So I pretty much know next week I ain't trading USD pairs. Not at all. There's just no point. I'll wait until the week's over. We can reassess it, and then we'll use that information to then lump into trades next week. All right. So for example, I would happily enter buys on GJ, but I would not be entering UJ. You know what I mean? And you might, this all might come in good and UJ flies. Who cares? Because it might not. You know what I'm saying? You don't want maybes. You want what's the highest probability, right? You don't want uncertainty. Employment cost index quarter on quarter. Yeah, I won't go through it all, lads. You can see it all here, right? It's a big week next week. So for me, USD is still strong because it has not, hasn't given us a reason otherwise. Now I'll quickly jump across. I will discuss the trades we're in just now. I will discuss, not to shit your pants and stuff. If you're in oil right now, let's have a look. So if you jumped in oil with me, you'll be in drawdown. Perfectly fine. Our stop losses are way below here. What was I going to say there? If we look here on the daily, if you take away this blue candle, right, that right there, guys, is textbook entry. When you've got a liquidity grab, you've got your doji here, you've got a liquidity grab here, you've got an engulfing candle here. That's a textbook entry, right? And it's hit your zone, right? And like I always say, sometimes it just hits the zone and absolutely flies. Like this, look, this one just touched the zone and it melted, right? Sometimes it hits the zone and flies. Sometimes it does this, comes back, and you can see here, look, wait, I'll move this out of the way. You can see here, we've got the small engulfing, we've got the small candle, and the large engulfing. So if we tidy up our zones, It could just come here, bang, and go. If it passes through, the next area is here, and I'm not closing it, guys. All I'm going to be doing is waiting for it to show us, a reversal anywhere here or here, and then I'll lump into the position. All right. A point to note: oil companies, it costs them $65 a barrel to actually get the barrel out the ground and get it produced, right, for production. So the minute oil gets below $75 a barrel, oil companies are instantly losing money, and they want to get it the fuck out of $75 ASAP whenever it hits there. So that's another very strong point to note. Okay, we are in that area now. It's going to go bang and fly. It might pull down here for a better price. Anything can happen, but we're not going to shit our pants. We're just going to let it go. This is why we only use 1/4% risk, right? We do not risk a lot. 1/4%. And that's it. Bang, away we go. So plan of action is don't shit your pants. If you look on the weekly, it's actually perfectly fine on the weekly. Look. Here is the area of imbalance right here. Yes, it could come down here, but this is a liquidity grab. That normally tells you that that's a protected zone. They don't want it to come down here because their stop losses will be down here. Look, they try and keep it away from there. You see that? So it's kind of giving us a good sign that it may just reject in here, reject on this 200 EMA or there and thereabouts, and then crack on. All right, and we'll take that. This will be TP1, TP2, and TP3, and that's how we'll work it. What else are we in right now? Euro AUD, I believe. Again, nothing to worry about. We've entered here because you've got this massive, beautiful rejection candle. We entered around here, which is absolutely fine. I mean, mild drawdown, doesn't matter. Look, it's a massive, massive, massive area of rejection here. It may, pull in here and go. My stop loss is above here. If it pulls up and stops me out, yeah, it is what it is. If this breaks up and stops me out and it comes back and rejects here, I know we've been talking about when it breaks above the previous high, it comes back for the retest, rejects, and then goes. I will not be entering buys, right? I will not be entering buys because then at that point you've then got rejection here, rejection here, rejection here, rejection here, and rejection here. You've just got a whole fucking sea of rejections to the left, which means that as it's coming up here, it can just reject, reject, reject. It's got all these different levels it can reject from it. You don't want that. If it broke above here, and then reject up here and then came down, that's a different story. Then you can enter it because it's clear. The left-hand side is totally clear, right? And that's what we want to look for. So, you would never buy this from here in a million years, guys. I'm perfectly happy with this trade. You may see it. Look how often it's bounced around. We may get that. I don't really like trading euro and stuff because they're just really shit. I never trade euro, USD, GBP, USD, GBP, euro, euro, GBP. Because those trades are like watching paint dry. They're horrible currency pairs. But it's tradable, right? A trade's a trade. It may bounce around here for ages. Stop losses away above here. Plenty of space to breathe. Probably gather orders, and then it'll go, right? We just need to wait and see. We've got tons, and I mean tons of potential trades coming up. What is this? Daily, okay. This is an area here. I suspect it may come down here. That's the best area and go. AUDCHF. Look, so we could be entering this Monday, lads. That's a beautiful. I think I might enter that on Monday. Let me just mark it down so I can check it again. I'm going to write buys, and then to the right I'm going to write sells. Right. So I'm just going to do in my notepad buys and sells, just so it's easy. Sorry, it's easy to glance at. AUDCHF. Strong against a neutral. I prefer to do strong against weak. I don't really like to trade strong against neutral or neutral against weak. I prefer just choosing strong against weak. But let's see what happens. AUD Japanese yen. We are in a good area to buy from, so I'm going to mark it down. AUD JPY for buys, right? That's my buys section. That's why I marked this green. AUD USD, I ain't touching that. Euro AUD, we're in that for sell, so I'll just mark it down. Euro AUD, and I'm right in because I'm in it. Euro CAD, I ain't trading that. It's just gopping. I've got it there marked up just so we can watch it play out, but it's pretty dog shit. I'm not interested to trade it. Euro CHF, you could potentially buy it, but I wouldn't. I'm going to turn it off because Euro is neutral and CHF is neutral, so we ain't touching that. What's CAD? Euro. CAD is weak, Euro is neutral. CAD is weak, Euro is neutral. So Euro has the upper hand. Sometimes it gets confusing. Let me think about this. Euro is weak. CHF is neutral. So that would then potentially be... that wouldn't be a good trade. That would not line up. Nah. So in terms of value, it's in a good area of value to buy from, but it's just a shit trade. It's not a good trade to pick, guys. Euro GBP, I never trade it. It's just there, to show you guys if any of you guys want to. I'm going to turn that off because I don't need that on there. Euro GPY, it could fly here, but I ain't touching it until it gets down there. Euro NZD, gutted. I freaking marked this up and I didn't take it. I didn't take it on purpose because it was ranging, right? And I always tell you guys, I don't trade ranges. I only trade this. I trade trends, right? I don't trade ranges. You can do it. That's why I mark it up and I give it to you guys. If you want to take it, you can take it of your own accord, but I just don't bother my arse. I'll keep it on there just to see what it does. But if NZD is weak, Euro is neutral, then it would mean this. It would mean it's more in favour of buys, up, but you'd have to wait and see Euro news next week, all right? So I'll change that to green. In terms of value, it's in an area of value where you would sell from, absolutely. But in terms of economic data, the euro is far outperforming the NZD, right? As an economic zones, not just a currency. So to enter a sell just wouldn't be the right move, right? And to enter a buy, you would never buy here. It's way overvalued. You'd have to wait to show that this is no longer an area of value to buy to sell from. It's now an area of value to buy from, where it will break up, come back down, reject here, then you could enter it, and then we could take it long, right? But until that happens, we just sit tight. Another one, no bothering. GBP CAD. Oh, I'm not giving any new markups, guys. All these markups, they're already in the swing trade setups column, right? I already done them like during the week. I think I've done them in like Thursday or something there. It's like an update, Thursday or Friday. So there's no new markups, after we do this. I'm just explaining them to you. Pound CHF, yeah, you would be looking to take that as a potential buy, boom, because pound is strong, CHF is neutral. As I say, I usually only prefer to take strong against weak, especially when I'm trading the managed accounts. But this is perfectly tradable, right? It's in a good area of value. I'll reassess it next week. So a freaking pen. GBP. What is it? CHF, is it? Aye. CHF in my buys column, okay? GG, I really want to see. I don't really want to be buying GG until it hits here, lads. I don't want to keep explaining it. I explained that in the last video. This is like the main area of volume, blah, blah, blah. The previous resistance becomes a new support. This is also where all the volume kicked in, and so forth. And this is the 786 fib. So it all just lines up, right? I'd really like to see GG hit here before I buy. GBP NZD, of course, that's a buy, but you can't buy from here. It's in a perfect area of value to sell from, but you can't sell it because the British economy is super strong and it's still continuing to fly, and New Zealand economy is dog shit. So you cannot sell that, right? It would be a counter trend trade. It would be a low. I'm not saying you couldn't. It might come down here and retest down here, right, and then fly again. It may, but it's a low probability, higher risk trade. You want to go for low risk, high probability, right? That's the whole point. You want to get things in your favor. GBP. So just wait for it. I'm not going to take this either. I just never trade this pair. Pound USD. They're two really strong economies, right? I would never in a million years trade strong for strong, so I'm gonna turn them off. I'll come back and look at them for anyone, but I ain't doing them. We've missed that, but look, it did play out. It played out fucking beautifully. with the strong economy against the weak, right? You can see how it works. It's fucking brilliant. But yeah, we've missed the boat on that. It's going to be a while before that comes back. And I would not in a million years, try to do a buy on that because USD is still the number one economy in the world, and NZD is just terrible, right? They just don't have the power to outweigh the greenback. NZD CAD, I wouldn't bother with either because the two economies are weak. So why would you trade a weak against weak? You're just going to get this horrible mess, right? It's not worth it, guys. There's no point taking that. NZD CHF, again, that trade bloody worked out, but I never took it. I can't remember why I didn't. Maybe because it was just ranging, and I don't know why I never took that. It's textbook, right? Breaks away, creates a support, breaks the support. Creates a resistance and a support here, breaks that support, and this previous area becomes the new resistance. Retests it and melts. Honestly, guys, textbook every freaking time this will happen. I promise you, it's unbelievable. There it is again, broken, goes back up, retests it, and then melts it time and time again, guys. I swear to God. Focus on those two things that I shared in that video yesterday. The entries with the candles, that's where you mark up your box in the weekly and the daily, and then your break and retest of the support and resistance. Just fucking master those two things, I swear to God, and you'll see a massive increase. You still have losing trades because that's what happens in this game, but look at how many times the trades have came in, fucking unreal. It's unbelievable. What's that? UJ. So I'm going to put it in my notes as a buy, right? USD. But like I said, I won't be touching nothing to do with the USD next week, guys, because it's NFP week. It's just high risk. I'd rather wait a week, let it all blow off, see what data we got from it, and lump in next week. Because you might miss this entry, right? It might come up here, but it's always going to pull back and retest. Then it's going to go, right? Just get the retest. Who cares? USD CHF, don't really like it. USD strong, CHF neutral, so that'd be buy. Sorry, so it's look, but again, it's USD. Look, let's just here it is, right? You can see these areas here. Here's the other area. This is a beautiful area. Let me mark it up. Where are we? Bish, bash, bosh. Let me just change the color. Here we go. So these are two potentials, right? I think it could bounce here. I don't know. We need to see what news next week, but we won't be trading it, guys, because of its NFP next week. All right. Oil, we already know oil. So look, here's the two areas. It could come here, reject and go. We'll enter again, or come here, reject and then go. All right. Stop losses are way down. I think they're down here. Can't remember if I put it behind here or down here, guys. I think it's down here. But we're just going to let this run. This area here will be TP1. This area kind of up here will be potentially TP2 and so on. Okay, that's just British oil. It's exactly the same. They move exactly the same. Gold. I mean, nah, I wouldn't be trading it. I wouldn't be looking. I certainly wouldn't be looking to sell gold unless the only time I'm looking to sell gold, look, support, when it breaks this support, because back up for the retest, I would gladly sell it there, gladly, and then I'd be buying it down here, right? That's it. That's the only two trades. Silver, kind of new to silver, so I won't be giving any signals on this. I've never traded it, so I need to go through the process of like paper trading it for like 4 to 8 weeks, right? I'm just going to mark up my charts. I'll watch how it plays out. I'll make notes on it, and blah blah blah. Just almost wrapping up, lads. Good area to buy. Indices, again, wouldn't be touching them because NFP week, right? When USD currency is strong, these are weak. And when USD currency is weak, these are strong, right? I personally would never look for sales in indices ever, because whenever they come down, it's only for a short period of time and they always go up, right? Unless we have a major market crash, but they're just always buys. Just never ever sell. And always enter these at 0.01, right? Unit size 0.01. Don't go in with fucking half a lot. It'll probably reject you anyway because it's, you'll fucking blow your account. But that is pretty much it, guys. Yeah, that's it. There's nothing much to cover. Well, nothing much to cover now. We've already covered it. 40 minutes, good. I try and keep them as short as I can, 40 minutes is a good time. Usually it can take about an hour. But that is it, guys. You have got it all wrapped into one. That is what we're looking for next week. As I said, there's no new markups because the markups I already gave in here, swing trade setup, and here they are. Look, I've already given them. When was it? On the 25th? Is that Friday or something? So yeah, these are all the markups in here, guys. All right, for you to copy and mark up your charts. I will post this recorded video with the currency strengths and blah blah blah. I'll post it in the general chat as I always do. But I will also post it. Where the hell is the weekly? In here, weekly fundamentals. Okay, I'll post it in there for you, and we're good to go. Maybe I'll move that. Should I move it? I'll keep it there for now. I'm going to rearrange this with Lee. I'll jump on a live with Lee and I'll rearrange this. But that's it, guys. Let me know if you've got any questions. And if not, then that's us. All good, lads, aye? Have a great weekend. And I shall see you guys on the charts on Monday. Take care.